Hey, welcome to this drum lesson for Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Okay, let's just jump straight into this track. So firstly, we've got the intro, which starts on the guitar. It actually comes in on quite a, well, not that weird, but quite a strange timing. Comes in on 3 and. So we've kind of got 1, 2, 3, ba-da-da. So we've kind of got just a little bit of a bar, and then we've got 4 whole bars on the guitar before the drums even come in. Now, the pattern for both verses in the song stays the same. Now, you can either do a real simple version of it or a slightly more advanced version. But again, it's 1/8 notes on the hi-hat, nice and sloshy on those hats. Snares on 2 and 4, and bass drums on 1 and 3. So if I just play that groove for you, it's like this. Okay, so that is the groove for the verse. Now, as I was saying, you can do a slightly more tricky version, which is adding 1 extra bass drum, which is on the last 1/8 note of the bar, so on 4 and. So when it repeats, you got it on 4 and then 1. So that sounds like this. Here we go. Okay. So actually, when the track first starts, for some reason he plays it just a straight, the straight beat just on 1 and 3. I think for the first sort of 4 bars, maybe, or is it 8 bars? I'm not sure. But then that extra kick comes in. But as I was saying, you can just play all the verses just simple. You can simplify this track, so just on 1 and 3. Okay, so that's the verse. The verses. Then we've got this build-up section, which is a 2-bar build-up section, and we're on the floor tom and snare drum, and keeping a 1/4 note bass drum. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is build from quiet to loud, going into the chorus. So if I just play the build-up section for you, it sounds like this. If I just do the groove before that, because going into it there's a little crash push. So I'll do 2 bars groove and then the build. So it sounds like this, ready? Okay. So yeah, try that. You're playing both hands together from quiet. Right at the end, you're having a flam on beat 4. So it's 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the flam is on the 4, and then into your chorus. Let's try that whole beginning section with the playthrough. So doing the first verse with that groove and then the build up before we go into the chorus. So let's try that now. Here we go. Okay, great. So hopefully that went well. Let's now try the chorus pattern. So this is a 2-bar pattern, okay? We're keeping the kick drums on all the quarter notes, but what we do on the second bar is we're crashing on 3 with a kick, 4 with a snare, and then back onto the 1. Let me just play it for you and you'll see what I mean. So it's like this. Okay, so you got this crash thing happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's kind of the tricky bit. 3 with a bass drum because it's on the 3. 1, 2, 4 because it's with a backbeat, and then back on the 1. So I tend to play it 1 cymbal, t'other cymbal, t'other, and then both cymbals on the 1, just to give that difference in cymbals. If you've got to do a lot of cymbals together, it's nice to not just play the same one, dish, 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 because it just sounds a bit pony. So it's nice to mix your cymbals up, especially either side of the kit as well. That's quite a nice thing to do. Okay, so that's the chorus. So as I say, you can just play that for the chorus. If you want to get more detailed on the track, it's actually quite weird arrangement, this song. Although it's very simple, it's quite strangely arranged. So the chorus actually goes round 7 times, and then the 8th bar is a kind of gap. The 8th and the 9th bar are a gap going into the next verse. I'll show you what happens at the end of the bar. What we do is a push on 4 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So it's like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 and then we've got this gap, which is going back into the verse. So and then we've got this fill, which is leading into the verse. If I just play it all for you, I'll play that bar just before the stop, and then the fill going into the verse. It sounds like this. Okay, so it's quite weird, that, but it's what's happening is you're pushing on 4 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got a whole bar of nothing after those pushes. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a whole bar of nothing, and then the next bar, this fill is happening on 3 and. So like at the top of the track where that kind of riff comes in at 3 and, this fill, it goes like this. It goes. Okay, so that fill is 1, 2, 3. Blah blah bush. 1, 2, 3 da da dish. Okay, and then the groove going back into the verse is, you don't actually play a kick on the 1 on the track, but you can do, to make it easier, you can do 1, 2, 3. So it's in on the 1, but it's it's quite tricky, that. So remember, the count is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, blah boom bush, bat boom bat. So you're kind of coming back into the verse almost on the backbeat on 2, blah boom bush, gat dun da. But again, you don't have to play that fill. You can leave that fill out. You can just finish the verse da da, and then back in for the second verse. And the second verse is the same groove as we said before. So you've got that verse, and then you've got the build again, and then you've got another chorus. The next bit is this kind of middle 8 push section, which is just before the kind of solo outro chorus. So if I just play it for you, it sounds like this. Okay, so you're going one da 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 da. That's the pattern, but you're doing the pushes on the crashes. Then, second time round, 2 flams at the end, and then you're back into your chorus, and then it's just chorus all the way to the end. There's one little extra thing if you want to add that in halfway through the chorus, last chorus. We've got a little gap. Yeah, I'll just play that little gap for you. So it goes like this. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're back in on that same kind of crash thing. Cool. So now let's try the whole track. Okay, so hopefully that went well for you. It is quite tricky, that track. If you, like I was saying, there's quite a lot of intricate bits that you can add in, but essentially you can just play that straight groove pretty much through the whole song. And then in the chorus, just maybe try and add those crashes. Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully that wasn't too tricky. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one. Thanks.